Hello and welcome back to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. It is I, your 14-time champion, current reigning, defending, proud, undisputed, unnegotiable champion, Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe. And tonight I am joined by the one and only former champion, the Cluckmaster himself.
The soon-to-be 10-time RWP champion. We'll see how tonight goes. Only 5 matches. Anyway, I am checking. Check me out at Bark and Cluck on Twitter, and most of you guys know where to find me. Big Buckin Linktree / Big Buckins. The best place, of course. But that's not what you're here to talk about. That's not what you're here to see. We're heading into Survivor Series, or as it is now, nobody's really calling it Survivor Series. It's War Games.
I'll just stay right out of the gate. This is a very risky way to go. I like what Triple H has done with bringing back the King of the Ring and kind of going back to a classic pay-per-view style format of the big 4 or 5. I like that. But Survivor Series has always been a very traditional, you got the 5-on-5 match. And I like what he's doing. He's been a big fan of the War Games before. He's done it in NXT a lot. I think it's a little risky to do it here and in place of the standard 5-on-5 elimination style match. I don't know. It could be cool, but I'm gonna miss this traditional Survivor Series match.
I think if you're gonna do it, I think now's the time to do it, because you look at the divide between Raw and SmackDown, and like, how are you gonna make it?
Sure.
Like, how would you book this currently with the current roster, current stories?
Right.
Like, it just doesn't work right now. So you know what? Like, fucking Hail Mary this, see what happens. Like, if somebody catches this, makes it exciting, cool. I'm in.
I agree with that, because in the years past, we've been doing this Raw versus SmackDown. And this year, it's not set up for that at all. And especially since you've got undisputed tag team champions and undisputed world heavyweight universal champion. So really your only inter-promotional quote unquote match would be Intercontinental versus the US title, or women's champ versus women's champ. So I like that they're going away from that, because it does give me hope that maybe the brand split will just fucking end. We can end it. We can end it anytime, please. But I will be missing the traditional Survivor Series match, and it's traditionally one of the best matches of the year, whether or not you want to believe that. I mean, go back and watch. There's been a lot of bangers. This will be good. I think I would have preferred to see this style match maybe on a different card.
Sure.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, you're right. This is only a 5-match card. This is going to breeze right through, because the last time we were on, holy God, it was a marathon show, because we reviewed AEW, and anybody who's familiar with that company knows that everybody's got to get on that show, including their grandmothers. So
yeah, I didn't watch that last AEW. I looked up the highlights on YouTube and put it in 1.5 speed, and that's the only reason I know what happened.
Yeah, it was a show. It was a show. I wasn't blown away by really anything other than, MJF finally winning the belt. So I'm glad that happened. I like what he's doing so
far. Which was the most predictable thing in 2022.
Oh, yeah. You saw it coming a mile away. I mean, nobody was going to pick Jon Moxley. Well, maybe
if they didn't do it, it would have been the biggest upset. Like, you almost would have had more heat on the company, but in a good way. Like, as much as I love seeing MJF get it, I just kind of was like, man, it would have been such a fucking fuck you to just to let Mox win.
It was never meant to be him and Moxley. It was supposed to be Punk and MJF.
Yeah.
MJF gets his win back against Punk, gets the title in the process. That would have made a much better story.
Yep.
I mean, they did fine with what they had. So it is what it is. That was
We're not here to talk about AEW.
This is going to be a much simpler show. But again, we do have 2 War Games matches, because we have to have a men's and a women's for some reason. That's what I mean. One of these could have been an elimination style Survivor Series match. You didn't have to do both. I think that's what annoys me about it.
Yeah, it's about equality, Tony. Okay.
Yeah. Well, speaking of equality, let's start at the bottom of the card. I think this is probably going to be the opener, if I had to guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I could see him doing both the War Games matches, one at the start, one at the end, probably the men's or the women's first and then the men's, but I'm guessing that this is going to open. You've got the U.S. Championship defended by Seth Franklin Rollins in a triple threat against Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley, both former champions themselves. I like the idea of this because the Theory's amazing. Rollins great. Lashley, you know, as a babyface, he's not my favorite, but he's still imposing. And I like the style clash here because typically a triple threat's going to be very car crashy. This has some interesting elements to it because with the powerhouse Lashley, and you've got Rollins who's just solid in everything he does, and the young whippersnapper and Austin Theory. I think this is actually going to be a decent triple threat.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for this one a little bit. I'm going to go with Rollins to retain though on this one because I know there's a lot of ways to get out, and I don't know what they're going to do with Theory moving forward, but I just don't see it going on Lashley. I could pick Theory here, but I'm going to go with Rollins.
I was going to say that I would say if you're going to pick an order of confidence, I would say Rollins is the smart choice. Theory is the next best choice, and Lashley is the last choice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of your angle here. Now, you know, with the cash in failures and the story they've been trying to tell, it's just down, down, down. I don't see this being the moment for like not in this. If you're gonna do it, this would be the match to do it. That's why I think Theory is like the second best choice in this match. And this sucks because there's only 5 matches, so I have to make sure I pick something other than what Tony's got to take that belt off of him. And god damn it, this is one of those ones where it's like, do I risk it on this one? I don't know what's going to happen here. I am going to say Austin Theory loses and Rollins does retain.
Okay.
So it's too early. Like this title run
is too
that's
early. My thing.
And it just doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Now, what I think is going to happen.
Well, the cash-in didn't make sense either. So you can make the argument that this is him getting that win back by winning the title here. But you're right. It's too early.
With Lashley, I don't know what the fuck we're doing with Lashley. Like we had this little Lesnar thing, and then we're going back to the U.S. champ thing, and we have him like running off Theory 2 weeks ago, which was fucking hilarious. It was great. But it's just, I don't know what we're doing with Lashley in the long term. Seth is way over, and whatever we do with Theory long term, like if it, Seth's got to put him over eventually, whatever, I'm cool with that. Like if that's Theory's going to be a big name someday.
Oh yeah,
it's just
has to be.
And maybe it was the right choice to put him in the U.S. title hunt, but man, I don't know if you put Seth Rollins as the guy. Like, this whole thing just stinks. It just sounds like the whole thing was FUBAR from the start, and they're just kind of copy and pasting shit, trying to make something work and make it fit. But I don't see it. Rollins got to retain here.
I can't disagree with any of that. Moving along, we've got this one. It should be a fucking banger.
I'm excited.
AJ Styles and Finn Balor. I am so excited for this. I hate the idea that this is the Finn Balor we get to go against AJ Styles, but it's still going to be amazing because these two guys know each other so well and they just match together so perfectly. So this is going to be a fantastic match. I really want to pick AJ here, but I'm going with Balor.
Ooh, this one is a coin toss in my opinion, because we thought we thought that the OC should have beat Judgment Day in the prior main whatever event, and that did not happen. Judgment Day ended up pulling through. So, but at the same time, what we're seeing with Triple H and how he's doing these, he seems to like find the guys that he really likes and does not give a shit about go home math. He doesn't give a shit about. He'll put them over and over. He'll make the others look strong still. Like he'll make it work for both of them somehow. But yeah, he really likes Finn Balor, and so
exactly.
Here's the thing. I think you're right, but I have to pick something. So I'm gonna pick Finn Balor to lose.
Wow, going with AJ.
Yes.
I think this one's a lot closer than people probably expect. Like, you're right, 100% right. That's why I'm going with Balor, because
It's
Triple H is
conventional.
trying to
That's
make
what.
stars.
Yeah. If I were in your
And
position, that's what I would do.
he's trying to make stars, and he's trying to right the wrong, because they have nobody else to go up against
Yep.
Roman Reigns right now.
Yep.
He's slowly building stars, and he's always had a thing for Finn Balor. So this is him kind of recoursing Finn Balor's just burials and burials and burials. I like Balor to win this, but I think it's a lot closer. It could go to AJ, because you've got so much outside interference to think about. They could get away with doing one here.
Yep.
But every time these two guys fight, it always seems to be Balor anyway. So I'm going with Balor. Just gut feeling on this one.
Okay. All right.
So moving along. Oh boy. This, I'm going to just say it now. Here is your nomination for worst fucking match of the year.
Yeah.
I guarantee you this is going to be a lousy, steaming pile of shit. Ronda Rousey defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Shotzi Blackheart. Look,
this is a waste of time.
This is so stupid. Why is this a thing? I am sorry, but Shotzi has proven herself to be terrible since being called up to the main roster. That her performance, in that ladder match, my God, was she awful. Every spot she bumbled, and she's been just flubbing everything I've seen her do. She's not crisp. She's not clean. I don't know what happened, because she was better on NXT, or maybe
take
the atmosphere just helped.
Shove that aside. Why in the hell are we doing Shotzi? Like, she was not booked. She is not booked for this match up until this point. This makes no sense. Like, I get they're trying to build a longer story with Shayna, right? Like, we're trying to get Shayna and Ronda to kind of be friendly, and then there'll be like a fight and a feud, and that'll be like a WrestleMania thing. Cool. I love that. Let's do it. I want Shayna Ronda. That'll be awesome. But Shotzi? What the hell are we doing?
If you thought Liv Morgan versus Ronda was terrible, hold on, really folks, because this is going to be terrible. I'm calling it now. This is going to be like Wrestle Shit of the Year. I'm just calling it now. And make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, because here next month we will be doing our year-end review and awards. And I have a feeling this is going to be in high contention for worst Wrestle Shit match of the year. I've got Ronda.
I think so too. Yeah, of course, Ronda. No, God, no. I ain't crazy. I'm trying to win.
Yeah, no. If anybody has any fucking money in like a betting website,
this is like 10,000 to 1 odds. Throw $100 on it just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna win $10, but it's like, good God, this is gonna be terrible. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah. All right, let's talk about some war games. Here we go. Now, you've got the women's war games coming up. This is a clusterfuck. You've got Damage Control and Bayley with we got Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley joining them on their side, and then you've got Mia Yim, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Asuka, and the man, Becky Lynch. This is going to be interesting. My problem here is they're going to try to do too much, and this is obviously going to go on before the men's war games.
Yep.
They're going to do all the same spots, and it's not going to look nearly as convincing, and they're going to do so much stuff that they just don't need to do. That's my problem. But that being said, I think this will be okay as long as a couple people agent this match and kind of take over in terms of being ring generals, and I think those people are probably going to be like your Asuka, your Bayley. They're kind of going to ring general this thing. Becky's going to be great, however she's used in this. Bianca's going to look strong. Rhea's going to look strong. Whatever gets me to Rhea versus Bianca faster, really.
Exactly.
That's all I care.
That's all this is.
Yes, let's start grooming that. I'm all for that. I want to see that at Mania. That's my pick for Mania. Please make that happen on this side of the Women's Championship. This one, honestly, this one's a coin toss for me, but I'm going to go. I think you've got, because this is the last one of the year. This is the last pay-per-view of the year, and you've got to give, I think Triple H wants to give the fans a happy send-off with Bianca into the new year. So she's going to be the champion. We know this. I think it's going to be Team Bianca.
Okay.
It's a coin flip for me, but I'm gonna go with Team Bianca.
Yeah. So this is a coin flip for me as well. Like I already got the one to like seal the deal, and I'm probably gonna regret my decision, but I'm gonna go with Damage Control on here because
Wow.
like we know this is about Rhea Ripley's future against Bianca. Like the Damage Control on their own have not been able to really do anything. Like this is another like it did, like it's a waste of time. Like what was the whole point of this whole thing? Like Kai and Sky, like God, it was so fun to see them recapture the belt, and you're like, oh no, here we go, we're gonna have something cool. Nope. It's because Bianca can just pick 3 people up and throw them like She-Hulk. Like this is it.
And that's, again, we just talked about this the last time Bianca and Bayley wrestled. They keep doing these gimmick matches between these two, and they're falling flat. Just give me one standard match between these two, and I guarantee it would outshine all the other performances. Is this how they justify making Bayley lose all those stupid stipulation matches that didn't need to happen?
Right.
I doubt it.
Stupid spots, and yes.
And then that's going to happen again here. So I'm not excited for this as I want to be. I love a lot of the women in this. Like Asuka's always going to hold a special place in my heart. She's a great worker. Bianca's proven herself. Rhea's a future star. Bayley's just solid, and Becky's going to be great here. And of course, I love my girl Alexa. I just worry how they're going to use her here. I'm worried about that. But yeah, this is a coin flip. I really do think this is really close. This one, they could change their mind on this one.
With this many people in there, you can make everybody look strong. Like, there's so much you can do with this. So this is, who cares? And like, as long as we get Rhea and Bianca later, that's all that matters.
Mania, make that happen. Rhea versus Bianca and fucking Shayna versus Ronda. Those are your 2 matches. Just do that.
Let's get there.
So first, we've got to go through the main event, which, God, I would hope this is the main event. Dear Lord, if it's not, what the fuck are we even doing? The Bloodline. Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Sami fucking Zayn versus the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens in War Games. So, this should be pretty damn good.
I think so. I think this is going to be fun. It's a lot of people, but yeah.
See, this one I'm fine with doing the War Games. Like, I wish the women's match would have been an elimination Survivor Series style match. I think that would have made more sense, and I think we would have gotten at least a solid showing from Bianca and fucking Bayley for once. But anyway, it's another War Game, so we got to do 2. We got to have equality. This one's going to be good, though. I really do feel like they're going to beat the ever-living hell out of each other. You're going to see some cool spots, but really it's just going to be the physicality here. Because all these guys involved, will beat the piss out of themselves and their opponents, and everybody's not going to feel bad about it after. Because it always makes it that much better. Like, Sheamus has proven that he will let you beat the shit out of him, and he'll give it right back. It's wonderful.
He's been on fire the last,
I have not given this much of a shit about Sheamus since... maybe ever, but since his last real title run. Actually, the one before that, because his last one sucked. But this is probably the best run of Sheamus has had in many, many years. So I'm really enjoying what they're doing here. Roman is just on another level right now. Sami is just incredible.
I love Sami so much right now.
He does. You can't go wrong. And Drew's just great. Kevin's great. I'm loving everything about this. This I'm really looking forward to. So that being said, who you got? Because I think this one's a little closer than we want to think it might be, honestly.
Yeah. So anytime you have 10 people in a match, it can go either way. Now, conventional wisdom would always tell you, always stick with the bloodline. But with what they got going on with Sami, and you got the McIntyre adding to the Brawling Brutes. Brawling Brutes, that's kind of what people want to see. I could see now here's the deal. No matter who wins, you could still have the bloodline win and still make this story work.
Mm-hmm.
But Sami's got to fuck up tonight. Because we all know what's coming, right? We all know that eventually they're going to jump him out of the bloodline. Now, when does that happen? Kevin Owens has to get involved for it, because where's Sammy going to go? So, like, is this the moment that sparks it or starts it, or does it just happen all of a sudden? We have a little bit of.
I think this is a seed plant. Yeah, they're planting the seeds of that here.
I think it begins here.
Yes.
I think this is like the first domino to fall to end the eventual end of the bloodline, whatever we do down the road, whether it's WrestleMania or after. This is where the seeds start getting planted. So with that, I am picking the Brawling Brutes. McIntyre and Owens to defeat the bloodline tonight.
Wow. I'm sticking with the bloodline because I think you can get
Smart
there.
Choice.
I think you can get there without having Roman lose. Roman should, even in a match like this, yes, you could get away with it, but it's still the main event, and it's still Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And even if his team takes an L, how are you going to eliminate Roman Reigns in this match? You're fucking not. It's going to be the bloodline.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough one, but yeah.
You could get there. You could get there. And I think there's a lot of people picking the Brawling Brutes on this one. I think that's just to give back to Sheamus for doing such a great run right now. I think he does deserve a win like this, but I just don't think they can pull the trigger right now because you're not going to see Roman Reigns on a big stage again until probably Royal Rumble. So we're talking 2 months basically, unless they do something in between. I doubt. So we're gonna have a 2-month break.
I think when we come back to between Raw and SmackDown, and as you continue to tell this story, like just to almost cost a match or almost screw something up, or like that's not enough to go after Sammy. Something bad has to happen tonight to make this start with Sammy.
Okay.
That's the only reason. And again, I think you're right. I really probably the bloodline's probably gonna fucking somehow win this thing. But
no, I like where your head's at though with the planting of the seed, because
that gotta be something big. There's gotta be something big where Sammy's gotta be begging or he gets put on probation because he screwed us over. Like they've been slowly making this curve to where Sammy was the guy that was on top, even over the cousins and the Usos, and but now he's got to be the one that's not so Usy anymore, and he's gonna start going down. Yeah, I know you like how
I like where your head's at, but I would pick if there was something in between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, I probably would have picked the Brawling Brutes here. But I just don't think you can give a 2-month break to Roman Reigns and have him sit on a loss for that long. I just don't think they can do it. So they're going to find a way. They'll find a way to make sure the bloodline wins. That's my logic here. So we'll see. You know what? We've got some good picks here. There's some differences. So I like it. It's only 5 matches. This will be a decent card, honestly. WWE this year specifically, even on paper, if the matches don't look like blow you away great, they've been knocking it out of the park with match cards like this one. So other than the women's title match and possibly the women's war games, everything on here is going to be fucking fantastic. And even the women's war game is going to be good. So I think this is going to be a really strong show. And Ronda versus Shotzi is going to be comically bad. So stick around for that.
How long do you think that one actually lasts?
Honestly, if it goes any longer than a minute and a half, it's pointless. Just have her go in, beat the piss out of her, put her in armbar, fucking tap. Like there's no reason. There's no reason to do anything. But no, we're gonna humor fucking Shotzi, and it's gonna be terrible. And I'm so here for it. Cannot wait to see it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Top of the list tonight. I'm so excited.
No other predictions necessary, but before we sign this off, Bray Wyatt's going to come out at some point. We know this is going to happen. They teased on. Did you see on SmackDown during one of the teaser things? There was a phone number.
Yeah, flashed. I heard. I didn't see it, but I heard.
I called it, and it's like some mental patient or a mental institution doctor, like talking into a recorder or something. Like, oh, patient's very unstable, has delusions of grandeur, blah, blah, blah. What? Who's that? And then the call gets disconnected. It was kind of cool, but that's the kind of the wild card here, because you assume he's going to show up what else you can have him do? Get involved with? I mean,
Well,
I don't see him getting involved with Rollins.
It is Survivor Series, so if you had the Fiend on Raw and Bray on SmackDown, then they could fight each other and be like the old school Survivor Series, right?
Right.
That's what they're trying to book him, right? That's kind of what it feels like.
Maybe.
Maybe it's a throwback to Survivor Series.
And then they were supposed to have Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight, but I don't know why they didn't do that. So I don't know. Maybe they're just getting cold feet on this thing, but he's going to show up at some point. Where he shows up, I don't know. I assume after the main event, probably one of those things. Tease maybe a feud with Roman and the Bloodline, but I wouldn't get your hopes up in that regard.
Women's war.
The women's. Fuck, it's going to be the women's. God damn it.
Yeah,
it is. It's going to be for fucking Alexa.
Alexa Bliss will be in there, and that's how he costs them the win. And Rhea Ripley stands tall, and yes.
No, I'm sticking with my picks. All right. That's going to do it for us, folks. So like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're back here after Survivor Series to get the breakdown, to get the results, hear what we thought of each match. Some of them really going to be fantastic. And again, I can't wait to talk about how bad Ronda versus Shotzi is. So it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Anything else you want to say before we go watch the damn show?
No, appreciate you, folks. Love you. We'll see you after.
Oh, we got one.
Oops. Got one comment.
Yep. Alexa
turns.
Chris coming in hard with Alexa turns. Okay, I like it. I like where your head's at. Okay. All right, let's go home.
All right, see ya. And see if it just smooths itself out.
Back, tell you what I'll do. If I ever get back, I promise to refabricate you. Raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost